if your phones aren't off already, please silence them. I think we're live streaming right now. All right, welcome to the second revival night of We on the 8th. What's up? Oh, okay, we got a group of folks. Dos minutos. Oi, AJ Rafael says I need to tell a joke. Oh God. How are you gonna put me on the spot like that? Oh my God. Yes, let's open mic time right now.
Hey, you guys heard of Kellogg's Pop Tarts? How come you never hear about Mom Tarts? Because of the patriarchy.
Anyone else got a joke?
Dude, y'all know how people say Asians are cheap, but my uncle totally paid for half the abortion.
All right, all right. All right. Okay, so we're ready to start. So, welcome to the second revival night, I should say, of We on the 8th. Yes, yes. We know it's not the 8th, but y'all still made it, so thank you for being here. Last time I forgot to introduce myself, so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Grace Sue. I'm an actress and video editor and your moderator for tonight. Yes, and last month we had Dante Bosco in the house to talk about, to talk about his career and why he started We on the 8th. And tonight we have his co-founder, AJ Rafael, singer, songwriter. I think y'all know who he is. I don't even think I need to introduce him. But for those who don't, he's a singer, songwriter, crazy talented actor, extraordinaire AJ Rafael. Please come up to the stage.
Thank you for the water.
Oh, by the way, there's a water back there if any of you want.
There's a lot.
Yes.
More than the people here. So get it.
So, hi.
Hi, Grace.
Hi.
Before we get started, I just have to acknowledge it's been kind of a crazy week for me. My mom is in the hospital right now, and I was highly considering just obviously not being here, which I know would be totally understandable to you all. But my mom is a very strong person. It's my birthday on Tuesday. We're having a party tomorrow, and I'm like, Mom, I need to cancel this as well. And she's like, you have to go celebrate life. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. As much as a performer I am and able to put it on in so many different situations, that's kind of top of mind right now. But this is just a great place to be in, a distraction of sorts, but also because my story roots so much with my family. And so that's going to be, that will probably be the base of everything I talk about, and how I was allowed to be myself and the person I am because of my mom and because of my dad, who passed away when I was 10, and it all kind of roots from there. So that's where the story begins. Yeah. So thanks for being here and feeling my energy when they came in, and not being too like, what's up, AJ? I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Well, we're really grateful that you're here to share your story, and you pretty much kicked us off and covered all the basis
Yeah.
for your origin story.
Totally, totally.
Yeah, I know how important family is to you from the research I did, and you come from a musical family.
Yeah.
And it seems that's how you got your start.
Yeah, that's right. So take it all the way back to the beginning. I started playing piano when I was 5. My mom always tells people I was 2.5, but like I don't remember that, So I always say 5 because I do actually remember my dad teaching me piano, and my mom and dad started a children's choir at their church. My dad was a choir conductor, composer. My mom helped do logistics and all that stuff for him. So I was in a children's choir for a little bit, and my dad went in for a minor surgery. He played piano, and he actually was sweating so much. This is throughout his whole life, that he was sweating so much that he had handkerchiefs and tissues all over his keyboard every Sunday at church. And he wanted to get that fixed, so it was a minor surgery, and I actually got to be in that pre-op room this week as I was sending my mom off surgery, not to make things more depressing. But it's kind of like a full circle thing, you know what I mean? And it reminds you of where you came from, right? So my dad, wanting to get rid of that problem, he got the surgery. They go in to clip the sweat glands, which if you didn't know, it's like up here somewhere. I don't know how it got more complicated than that. He ended up passing away, catching hospital pneumonia because of recovery. He was in the hospital for a couple weeks. Anyway, after that, me and my mom, and I was 10 years old, we split my dad's job at the church, and I started to play piano as an accompanist, and my mom was the choir conductor. So, we kept his legacy alive in that way. And, the silver lining through the death of my father is that my mom always knew that I was meant to be a musician. Like she never pushed anything else on me. I know we always joke about and hear about the stereotypical, Asian mom who will make you do piano lessons when you're younger, but not actually let you become a pianist. You know what I mean? And that, while that is real, I was very lucky that my mom, and because of our story, I was very encouraged to be an artist. So fast forward a little bit, I'm 14 years old. I discover MySpace. Actually, before that is this website called Find a Pix. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then there's Asian Avenue and all that stuff. I meet this girl on there. Her name is Polly, and she's 16 years old. I'm 14. She was turning 16, and I write a song about her. And she's from San Diego, which is where all of you are from. And the song is called "How's San Diego, Polly?" And Ron knows this because the Riverside community. I would share this song on my MySpace. I burned it on CDs, sold it in high school. And that was kind of the beginning of, and by the way, too, this is before MySpace music. So you had to do an HTML code and JavaScript and stuff just to get a play button on your profile. Like, I don't know if you guys remember those days. Sometimes it would just play automatically, you know what I mean? Sorry, also, this is a very long origin story.
Please tell it.
So it's on my MySpace, and it's my first song, and then my friends start booking me for backyard shows in my high school and stuff, and I start playing more original music. I wrote a song called Johnny Rockets because there was this server who I had a crush on. Like, I'm writing about all these things that a teenager would be going through. And then in 2006, a little website called YouTube came out, and I needed to find a way to put video on my MySpace. And I was like, oh, here's the perfect thing. It's free. I can sign up. And then I uploaded a video of me playing piano of a medley of this band song.
Megan Diaz.
That's right. Yes, you did your research. My first ever video on YouTube was a cover or of a piano medley of Megan Dia, which kind of kickstarted, I don't know, my YouTube career, I guess. Next thing you know, I have 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, oh my God, are people like paying for this, you know? Which they weren't. And then a couple years later, you know, maybe 100 videos later, I don't know, I hit 100,000 subscribers, and I joined the YouTube Partner Program, which is still technically around. It's just you could just hit accept and get paid for ad revenue on YouTube now. But back in the day, you had to turn in an essay or like a long questionnaire and say why you deserve. And a lot of my friends were being actually declined from the program. But I got in, I had a lot of original music. So that's the thing. If you're a YouTube artist or a musician, you're putting covers out on YouTube, you're not making money from covers. You know what I mean? You're sharing revenue with the publishers and stuff, which is very fair, of course. But I was putting a lot of original music out there, so I became a YouTube partner, and then since 2009, I stopped asking my mom for money, although I did live at her house until I was 27, and which totally helped me. Well, I didn't really save money there, but that's the point, right? But yeah, that kind of takes me to today. I mean, there's a ton of road bumps along the way, and you know, I discovered theater during a hiatus that I was taking from YouTube, which then led me to start auditioning for film and TV a couple years ago, and me wearing so many hats because I love it all. I grew up to love it all, and as you said, I have a musical family. I have 2 younger sisters, one of whom is on Broadway right now. She's in a musical called Anne Juliet. So I'm just really proud to have been encouraged, and through unfortunate circumstances, of course, through my dad's death. But yeah, that's brought me to where I am today.
I mean, you've been doing this for so long. I remember when I first started seeing you on YouTube, I feel like you were collaborating with everybody. And
Yeah.
that's what I remember you
Yeah.
most for, like all your collaborations. And obviously, like, you've had such a long time collaboration and friendship with Dante Bosco, and you
Right.
formed We Own the Eight. If you could talk about some of your collabs and even your relationship with Dante.
Absolutely. I love to say that 90% of my YouTube channel, which is 500 videos at this point, are with other people, whether it's my family, my sisters, some of my favorite collaborations, like Tori Kelly when she was young. I think she was 16 when we started doing YouTube videos together, and she's still a really good friend of mine. To see her like win Grammys and become part of mainstream culture is just so cool to see, especially when we were just making videos in her living room and stuff, and at my house, and her mom had to drive her over because she didn't have a license. And I mean, I feel like I got lucky with a lot of people from my hometown. So I'm from Riverside area, but born and raised in Moreno Valley. Y'all probably passed it on the way up, you know. Kawhi Leonard's from Moreno Valley. Andrew Garcia, who was on American Idol, who's a good friend of mine, is from Moreno Valley. So we're really proud of our hometown because we want to rep it so much. But the early collaborations do include Andrew Garcia from American Idol. And then one very important collaboration to me was this guy named Jesse Barrera, who was part of a band called My American Heart. And they were playing a lot of Warped Tour, and you know, Paramore opened for them at one point. They're from San Diego. And I just messaged Jesse on MySpace to connect with him, and we became AIM friends. And God, my screen name was DDR Professor. You guys have more embarrassing ones than that, so don't even. I used to like really be obsessed with DDR and be really like, I'd have to hold the bar because I was so tired from like, you know what I'm saying, like doing it all. Anyway, Jesse later then produced my album Red Roses, and we funded that through Kickstarter or Indiegogo, one of those. And crowdfunding was very important to me, which we'll talk about later as well. But so Jesse Barrera, who now he's his own artist and he has 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. He has an amazing career. And then another favorite collaboration of mine, of course, is Dante. And I met Dante Bosco at this shoot for a good friend, Giselle Tongi, G Tongi, for the Filipinos who keep up with Filipino culture. She was working on a film project, a student film project at UCLA. And it was called Pinoy Grease. And it was just like a Filipino version of Grease. Okay, so it was Dante, the Bosco brothers. Dante was playing Danny Zuko. But the whole shtick of it was that he was fresh off the boat from the Philippines, which, God, I fucking hate saying that. But that was like the shtick, and he was supposed to have a Filipino accent and stuff, and it's like, you can look it up on YouTube, guys. It's insane. Anyway, so the funny thing is that, you know, he's a legend to me, freaking Rufio, right? Zuko, and I'm just like, dude, freaking Dante Bosco. And my first impression of him was we played Summer Nights, which we were lip singing to. And he's supposed to, like Danny Zuko sings, Summer Lovin', you know what I mean? And then plays a track, and it's him going from a Filipino accent to Summer Lovin', had me a blast. And then the girl actress who played Sandra Dee, she's singing, Summer Lovin' happened so fast. And Dante's, met a girl, crazy for me. Oh my God, I was like, what the hell is this? Anyway, he was the nicest guy ever. Like, you know, for those who were here last month and who know him, you know, he's a very just like giving person. He's down to share his story. He doesn't care if you know him as Rufio. Like if he got called Rufio on the street, he's not like, that was me a long time ago, fuck you. Like he's really like, he embraces that. You know what I mean? That people have fond memories of him growing up. And we became friends, and I actually was the one to tell him to get like a Twitter and an Instagram and to claim his name, which his name was already claimed. So his first Instagram name was just Rufio Zuko because Dante Bosco was already taken from someone who maybe was, or maybe a Filipino who actually had that name. So anyway, we're in a little, he took me to a bar. I invited my friend Kev Jumba out to that bar, and he was not 21 yet, so he had to sneak his ass in. And I remember me, Kev, and Dante were like, dude, Google yourself, man. Like, the internet is popping. It's crazy. They're talking about you, you know? And this point of Dante's career, he is, like, shocked that people, I think because y'all know the grind as actors, like, he's just hustling and grinding for the next thing. He doesn't realize that he's such an icon to so many, not just Filipino Americans, Asian Americans, any kind of underdogs, right? And we convinced him, like, dude, you got to start, like, growing your brand on the internet. Me and Kev Jumba, who Kev Jumba has, like, 500,000 subscribers at this point, and we're trying to convince Dante. All Dante wants to do is make films. So he tells Kev, he's like, hey, look, I want to get on the internet. Why don't you help me with my internet stuff, and I'll help you get into acting, because that's what Kev wanted to do. And then we started talking about, actually, I don't know how much this story aligns with what he remembers from it, but I'm pretty sure that We Own the Eighth started in that room, or at least the idea of it, of let's get internet creators, which were very new at the time, and then these traditional actors all in one room. And the very first We Own the Eighth meeting, we didn't even have a name yet. We were like taking votes in the room. I don't know why we did that. We were in a circle, like Timothy DeLaGhetto was there, JK Films. We tried to get Wong Fu at the time, like had a circle, and we're just kind of going back and forth on what's almost better. Like all the traditional actors are like, we don't mess with the internet, you know what I mean? Like we don't do YouTube, and all the YouTubers are like, well, I'm making money off YouTube. What are y'all doing in your spare time while waiting for auditions and stuff, right? Like we're kind of having this like little debate, and then we're like, hey, let's just get together, make this little meeting, and then what if we all work together? Because for me, not knowing the acting scene at the time, I'm like, dude, like in between waiting for that call and all that stuff, why don't we just make our own shit, you know? And it's extra cool to do it with someone like Dante because everyone knows him for being on TV and on in the movies, you know? So that, from my perspective, is what started We Own the Eighth, is that we had somebody who was on the internet like me, who being called a creator back then actually wasn't a thing. I mean, you're OG too. You are. Content creator, like that was not a word. I don't even know if social media was a word, honestly. But then to mix those two things was really exciting, and obviously it's been like 10 years since that point. Everyone knows to take content creating like seriously, you know, like it's not a mystery to how content creators make money anymore. I mean, like to my aunties and stuff, it still is. They're like, how do you make money? And I have to explain ad revenue and brand deals and stuff like that, and streaming and royalties. But other than that, I feel like it's more accepted than it was back in the day, where it was just like, oh, this is such a weird and wild world. So, yeah.
That's dope. So you schooled Dante Bosco on social media.
I guess so. We just wanted to like, because we're like, dude, you could also be like the internet's next biggest star, which he never wanted to be or anything. But it was cool to open his eyes to a whole community of people who are following YouTubers and fellow Asian Americans and stuff. And then to be like, oh, I can also have access to Dante Bosco. Because I think that was a thing back then. Celebrities were so far from people that like, and so mysterious that you know, when you think of John Mayer back in the day, you're like, what is he like? I only know him through his music, you know? And then the internet brought, and Twitter and Instagram brought us closer to these people who we were really fans of. And I wanted that for Dante so bad. I was like, I wish people would know how actually cool you are as a person and how close you are to the people that you actually play on TV. So I guess I did school him, yeah.
That's cool. That's dope. I feel like you've helped a lot of people in your career, and you've provided a lot of platforms. Like I saw that you started like the Crazy Talented Asian Show. You've done a lot of like charity concerts in the past. You're quite the event thrower. I mean, We Own the Eighth being one of those. You have a heart to help others, it seems.
Right. I think that comes from early, I know where it stems from. It stems from my mom and dad used to throw these concerts. They would just like find random venues and stuff to feature their own choir called Sanlahi, which is Isang Lahi, which means one. What does Lahi mean, fellow Filipinos? It's a deep Tagalog word. I don't know, one blood or one. It just means unit. They're like pointing like, you speak Tagalog. Anyway, doesn't matter. It means like one voice, something. And they just were throwing their own shows, you know, to their community for our family and stuff. I remember going to these as a young boy, like being like so wowed at the productions they were throwing. My dad would have the choir not just learn Tagalog songs or church songs, but also Disney songs. That was like a big part of me growing up, is like learning Disney music, and it was so theatrical and magical to me. So I threw my own first concert when I was 16 at my church back in Moreno Valley called St. Patrick's. And I know I just didn't want to throw a show for the heck of it, so I wanted to do it for charity. And the first concert I threw was for an organization called Autism Speaks. My nephew has autism, and it was a very confusing thing to me. My nephew who is the son of my half-sister from my dad's side. So he had a kid when he was very young. So learning about autism through this benefit concert, through me also sharing my gifts and me bringing people together, and we sang Disney songs. And of course, this is after my father died, so we would sing songs that he wrote, and it was like my way of like carrying his legacy, but also donating to charity, and then also feeling the rush of, for those of you who plan events and things like that, of what that world is, and getting people together. So we own the eighth roots from that. Even like my own wedding 2 years ago, I felt like I was so excited to put it together and put the program and stuff together because I love the rush of it. And just like also theater for my fellow theater actors, everything that's going on behind the scenes, like no one gets to see all that. And then right when you get on stage, you're just like, you're there and the magic happens. I think that's such a beautiful thing. So that's kind of where the event, my heart for showing, for of course doing the show, but more so the people who might be inspired from that. Like the way that I was seeing my dad's concerts and being like, I want to do that someday. When I throw a show like Crazy Talented Asians, which started as a cabaret at the Rockwell, which is a very like white space. Every cabaret is like all white people and then one black performer or one POC, right? I made Crazy Talented Asians to be all Asian, and so then a younger Asian person could see this show and be like, oh, this is a normal thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's where it roots from.
That's so cool, normalizing that.
Yeah.
People.
Like, the hope is that Crazy Talented Asians doesn't have to exist, And that maybe an event like this goes even beyond just bringing Asian Americans together, because we have this, like, unified want and need to be heard, that it goes beyond that. And then if there's just a regular cabaret that happened to be a themed, like a Disney night or whatever, and everyone was Asian, like we've had that forever with white people. Like I feel like that doesn't have to be a special thing. Although right now I'm glad that we do celebrate those things and that we do have to do those. But yeah, I think the goal is that it doesn't bat an eye.
Speaking of events and even your own wedding, I think I saw you in Hawaii when you guys were planning your wedding.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
oh my God, yeah.
No, it's crazy. And I was stalking you recently on social media and like seeing
Thank you.
all your videos with
Thank you.
Alyssa and how you guys sang a Disney medley
Yeah.
at your wedding, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And congratulations on finding your lifelong
Thank you.
collaborator.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. You guys got so many things going on. You guys got a podcast, Sweet or Savory.
Yeah.
You were talking about vision boards in your last
That's right.
one, which was dope.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. I met my wife actually at a Disneyland audition. I know it sounds so fake. But Disneyland, that's right. So she was playing Mulan already at the parks at this show called Mickey and the Magical Map. And unfortunately it closed during the pandemic, but she was Mulan, and she didn't have to go and meet people and stuff. Like, she wasn't a meet and greet Mulan. She would go out there during the Princess Medley to sing Reflection. So, what a cool freaking job, and she gets into Disney Free and all that stuff. We met at an audition for a different show called Heritage Showcase, which was just like a private show for all the choirs who would come to Disneyland. It would be like an opening number. I had been auditioning at Disneyland since I was 15, but I've always had these plugs. And I remember one year after going in for Aladdin every freaking year till I was 21, they literally were like, you're never going to get hired because of your ears. And I was like, well, hire me so I can like get them stitched up or something. But like that never happened. And I just used the auditions for practice, But now I get to say that I went to those auditions to meet my wife. You know what I mean? So we ended up connecting. She did know of my music and stuff, so that helped. You know what I mean? She's like, hey, are you AJ Rafael? I'm like, oh my God, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? I'm not going to deny that hasn't happened before, but it's more special, obviously, when, that it was a friendship at first that years later became something more because of timing and things like that. And we have such a shared love for music and Disney, which is very cool. So at our wedding last year, we sang a Disney medley, thanking people. We changed the words. And it went viral on like so many different platforms, TikTok and like Upworthy uploaded it, BuzzFeed and all that stuff. So it's very cool to experience these moments of performance together. But before we got married, she was working actually in the D&I department at Walt Disney Studios. So we also have this kind of shared love for representation and what that means in the media, especially with a big company like Disney. You know, one of the first films she worked on was Mulan, which like obviously was not like the greatest. How do I say this without insulting like the people who worked
Talking
on
about the live action?
the live action Mulan? Yeah, I mean it's tough because you have a team who fights for something, like trying to get a Chinese director to do it, and then you get all this blowback from a big like the heads of the studios who are just so old school. It's like, why are you even hiring this team? So as much progress that her and her team made over the years, the last film that she did work on was The Little Mermaid, which was like a huge step. You know, she helped in hiring the Black Trust of storytellers who would help consult the film and things like that. And as much strides she made, and I don't want to speak for her fully, but it's like you almost get tired of doing that for a big company where if someone who's like the CEO or something says, okay, I'm listening to you, but I'm not going to follow what y'all are doing because it doesn't matter because we're making money at the end of the day. It was very tough for that to keep happening. So she ended up leaving Disney last March. But now she's also, you know, performing and auditioning and wanting to be an entertainer full time, which she is doing, and we host a podcast together. So yeah, that has been a huge blessing in my life, and I found the perfect person. From like writing all these sad songs that people know me for, one particular song which I'm gonna talk about later that made an impact on these filmmakers who came out from San Diego, from writing those sad songs to finding like my perfect one. All of my fans and everybody who listened to my music growing up has been so happy for me, and it's very cool to like not know somebody in real life and they come up to me at Disneyland. They're like, "Congrats on your wedding. We're so happy for you." You know, that has been a joy of sharing my life publicly. With as many downfalls there is to that, that is one really cool thing.
I mean, I think this is what makes you such a vulnerable artist. You've been sharing your life since you were 14. Like, your first song was to a girl.
That I met online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, it's beautiful. The videos you and Alyssa have out there, and even your podcast, you guys share so much personal stuff, and even sharing your vision board for this year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's dope. Like the things you guys are manifesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're a big reason why she's pursuing performing now.
Right.
Yeah.
She has said that even when she first got the representation, the D&I job at Disney, she was working in marketing before that. She has said it in many spaces that, you know, me being so passionate about like a show like Crazy Talented Asians, or like even caring that I'm doing more collaborations with Asian Americans like intentionally because I want to lift them up intentionally, that inspired her to just go in that field in the first place. And then, yes, it's always inspiring to see anybody wanting to live their dreams and pursuing that despite all of the roadblocks and the adversity that comes with it.
Something you just said reminds me of a quote that you said to Neck Shark. I was told a number of times as a young artist to put my eggs in one basket, but I was always somebody who loved doing everything. I don't think it's a bad thing to have your hand in different things as an artist, as long as you have a real passion for it.
Wow.
I think you said that to Neck Shark last year.
I did. And I actually, that has been brought up recently because there is a specific person who's a good friend, and he's a business mentor of mine, who told me that. He's like, AJ, the only way you're going to make money is if you focus on one thing, which is like true in very many industries and things like that. But I have always felt that like what makes me me is that I love so many things, and like uh, I like me even being an actor and stuff. I'm like, that doesn't feel real all the time because people know me as a musician, and that's where everyone probably thinks that all my eggs are in that basket. You know what I mean? But like having that love and passion for whatever it is you're passionate about, and I'm not saying like spread yourself thin, which I do all the time, and I need that reminder to like chill out and maybe work on a project at a time. But to have that broader vision of like where I see my own career and where I see like I don't know, the future. I don't see me just being one thing. And I, as successful as I have been in music and me being a full-time musician because of royalties and my fan base and because of YouTube videos and things like that, I also want to be on Broadway. I am auditioning for a lot of the stuff that y'all are probably auditioning for, and I want that just as bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be, like, boxed in. And I think that's the beauty of, like, the internet in general, is that it has, like, opened so many people's eyes to different ways to go in different lanes, you know. And I hope that also opens up the eyes of our parents' generation, and I hope that they're able to see that there are different ways and not just one way to do it, because they're so conditioned to being like, go to this trade school and get this job. You know, there's so many different ways. As everyone in this room has a very different and unique story to tell. Maybe they went to a certain school, maybe they didn't go to school. You know, all that stuff is all part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've had your hand in so many things in the past 2 decades, and I mean, I don't know how you do
Damn,
it.
2 decades. 2004, did I just say that? MySpace. And it's 2024. Yeah, that's really crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, you are a crazy talented Asian, and you know, it's like you got all these things going on. You took a hiatus for almost 10 years from touring, and you've been on tour since last year, and you're about to go to the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Midwest, the Take Me Back tour.
Yeah, that's right. So in 2014, I got burnt out as a creator, someone who had to I felt like I had to upload like 2 videos a week, you know. Even back then, there was that like Gary V type personality telling you, hey, you better upload twice a week or people are going to forget about you. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you got to do. And I just got so tired of that life. So I wrote this letter and actually debuted it on, or had New Media Rock Stars at the time, which eventually turned into Next Shark, I believe.
Yeah.
Benny Luo. He published that letter for me. And it stemmed from me being exhausted. I was making like bad personal decisions in my life at the time, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I did like my last tour, which like I think deep in my heart I knew it wasn't, but I just wanted to like close a specific chapter of my life, and I played my last shows. I went to the Philippines, Guam, and San Diego, because all of those places have very many Filipinos. And I played my very last show in San Diego, and I was crying. I'm like breaking up with my band. You know, I'm like, this is the last time we're playing together. But through that hiatus, that's when I discovered theater, because I was asked to become a musical director for this musical called Young Frankenstein, which, if you're familiar with it, it's Mel Brooks. It's obviously the book is genius and comical, but the music is a different level. Like, I'm out here like playing I'm also the accompanist and the musical director, and I'm playing very hard music for my first gig as a musical director, and I'm feeling the pressure. The actors in the union, they come with only 2 weeks of rehearsal, while everybody else gets 6 weeks, so I have to work with them like different level, and these are all like seasoned performers, but that sharpened my skills as a pianist and as a music director. So I'm very thankful for that time and having the opportunity. Then I started saying yes to doing other musicals like Newsies and Thoroughly Modern Millie. I music directed Big River, and then I was like, dude, I want to be in these musicals. Like, I was like, I could easily be in this, you know what I mean? So my first professional theater gig was Spring Awakening, and I played a character named Georg, who sings a song called Touch Me. And that was just like, oh man, I want to continue to be on stage because I feel like this is all of my skills in one. It's like, I love to sing, I love to be on stage. I'm starting to love acting. And then I get to also not be me, because that was the thing I started getting tired of too. Being a creator and a YouTuber is like being on all the time. Like, there's been some like bad things written about me on Twitter. They're like, this dude AJ like thinks he's so too cool for a picture and stuff. I'm like, dude, I was eating with my family. Like, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like little things like that. And after, when I see those things, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta just be smiling all the time because I don't want anybody to, as Z-list of a celebrity I am, I don't want people to be talking like that about me, you know? So that was all part of like the burnout of being on as a creator, and what theater gave me is I could just be somebody else for like 2 hours, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, sometimes people don't even, you know, for those who've been in plays, some people they don't even recognize you after the show. Sometimes they're like, you're in your backpack, and they're looking at you like, were you in the play? You know what I mean? I think that's a really, really cool thing. So anyway, fast forward, it's 2024, 2023, a booking agent calls me and says, hey, do you still make music? Like, would you like to tour? I'm doing a tour right now with your guys, Jesse Barrera and Jeremy Passion, Gabe Bondoc, and Albert Poses. And they're all fellow Filipino-American musicians that I grew up making music with. He's like, they're doing really well. I think you would too. And of course, imposter syndrome's running through my head. I'm like, I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't even written music. The last song I released was in January 2020. It's 2023 right now. I don't know if anybody will come. And then something in my gut was just like, all right, well, let's just try it and see and say yes. So my booking agent was like, hey, how big of rooms would you like to play? He's thinking like the El Rey, which is like 1,000 people, or San Diego House of Blues, which is also 1,000 people. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do that. Let's go smaller cap rooms, like the Roxy, 500 seats, things like that. So I aimed for mid-size cap rooms. I said yes to the tour. I announced the tour. It sold out in a weekend. It was the craziest freaking weekend of my life. I was just like, dude, people still care about me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here pursuing acting, doing theater and stuff, but they care about my music and they want to support me. So my whole West Coast tour in October, we ended up playing House of Blues San Diego twice because it sold out. We played the Roxy twice. We went to Hawaii to play their biggest venue out, not the biggest, but the biggest mid-size venue out there. And I received a lot of love, which revitalized my own love for music, because I started talking like, I'm trying to, and the whole eggs in the basket thing, like, I was trying to convince myself that I was just going to be an actor and like that's what I had to do to be successful in acting. But me then going to my roots and playing music and falling in love with music again, then it even made me fall more in love with acting and theater stuff, because I'm like just so excited and on fire. So I would even encourage you guys to do what excites you, you know, and that might make your part-time job a little more exciting, because then you get to do the other thing more, right? Like all of it connects, and your morale and the way you feel, like it's like our bodies being all water. You know what I mean? It's a weird analogy, but it feels like you guys are on the same page. It's like if you're happy, you're almost tricking your body to be happy too, and then you walk around a little differently. You know what I mean? I think it all connects, and that's why that quote is so important to me, is because it doesn't limit my my mindset.
I mean, I was really encouraged by reading that article and also your sharing now, because I very much like feel like, oh, I need to focus on one thing, right? Like I've been taking acting classes for over 10 years, and recently I had to take time off because of personal reasons. And actually, I started taking singing lessons recently,
Come
and it's been like
on, let's
therapy. It's
go.
therapy, and
See?
yeah, and I realized that's actually another way of working on myself, and it's been so cathartic. And you know, I have such a deep appreciation for musicians and people who are musically talented, because I've never been confident that I had that talent. But now it's like, just hearing your story, it's like encouraging, because it's like, okay, yeah, I can totally explore other facets of myself. And
That's amazing, Grace. That's so cool. Are you doing it weekly?
I
These singing
am.
lessons? Come on.
Yeah.
That's amazing, guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's rough too, you know. My Alyssa's also in singing lessons every week, and even the warm up and stuff, and then after, and sometimes I know that she gets discouraged if she's not like doing it right. But like your vocal cords are a muscle too, so like give yourself some grace as you're learning anything new, but especially singing. Like there's so many variables, like how much water you drank the previous day, right? Things like that. So that's very cool that you're doing that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, we are down to the last few minutes of our time here.
Cool.
And, you know, because this is We On the 8th, I guess I just want to bring it back to that. With this revival of We On the 8th, what is your hope for We On the 8th? I mean, this is like your legacy, part of your legacy.
Yeah. I really have a lot of love for this event. As whoever had been a part of it before, you guys know the end of it was like very tragic for us, because we wanted to keep it going, but we didn't really have the manpower, I guess, or woman power to keep something like that going, especially with mine and Dante's like kind of random schedules. And like Dante could just be at a Comic-Con or whatever, and then I would had to lead the meeting by myself. And then sometimes we would miscommunicate on who would be at the next one, and then none of us showed up. Like me or Dante were not there. It was like so crazy. And then we had other people step up, and they started doing that, and I was like, man, we can't continue this, especially because we're not getting paid doing this and stuff. And even the money that we're collecting, you know, that was all just going to cleaning fees. You know, it's not like we got to take $50 for our time. You know what I mean? So it was hard to stop it, but we knew we had to, for our mental health as well, and for our focus on our own careers. But I'm really glad that it's back, and that our boy YJ hit us up. He put us in he put us in an email, and I love that Dante's down for anything. I'll just tell y'all now. If you say, hey, can you be in my film, in my short film, he will say yes. So take advantage of that. But me, I was a little more protective of the brand of We On the 8th, of what we built. And I was like, because Dante's like, yeah, YG's going to take over. He's going to do the first one in February in Emerson College. I was like, whoa, all right, cool. Let's talk to him. He's like, all right, I'll put us in an email or whatever. And I got to express to YJ my thoughts on it and what I think the vibe is. So I guess I'll just share that with you guys, since we're going to start continuing this back up again. I really think the magic of We Own the 8th is meeting somebody that you never had before. And as much as I hated going to networking events and things like that, this feels a little more like a safer space, because we know we have similar struggles, especially being Asian American and being underrepresented and all that jargon that everybody talks about. But it's cool to have an actual physical space for it. And what I was telling Grace before the event, I was like, how did after the event go last time? Because that's, I feel like, where the real magic was happening, is that after somebody talks and maybe inspires somebody to continue on their story or be more proactive in their social media, whatever it may be. Then they talk to somebody else, and then they collaborate and they work together. Like this web series, Pretty Dudes, that our friend Chance Calloway developed with people from We Own the Eighth. Our friend Chance moved from Alaska to LA, never met a soul in LA. He came to We Own the Eighth, and he met all of these people and made a web series, and it's on Amazon Prime. Like, that is the magic of what We Own the Eighth is. So I would just want to encourage to like meet somebody you never met before, and that already, y'all are already doing that. But to encourage, let's also not be the LA yes, which is like, yeah, let's do that, man, and then you never, like, you didn't even take my number, dude. Like, what? That was crazy. How are you gonna find me? Let's be proactive about these relationships. I've been friends with a lot of you guys for more than 10 years, and I think that's a really, really special thing, to have these connections. And some people hit me up for music or for a quick scoring thing, or my theater friends who I've met over the years will ask me to play a 16-bar cut. Like, anytime you need something, you can hit me up for a piano track. But that's yes, for real. I just want to encourage all of that, because that's why I felt so close to We Own the Eighth, and why I hope that it grows, and this space, and even having like the check-in and all that stuff, like that helps cultivate this for everybody, and hopefully y'all can bring in your friends next time, and bring more and more people, because that's just how a movement like this grows.
Amen.
Amen.
And with that being said, I know you've got a special
I do.
project guest you want to introduce.
Yes. Before that, we want to play a video that will hopefully explain a little bit of what I want to introduce. But essentially, I had been approached, not in real life. It was through Instagram DM. This filmmaker who was inspired by one of my songs, and that song was When We Say (Juicebox), which was the music video that Wong Fu Productions first made for me back in 2009. And this song gets brought up to me a lot at my shows. They're like, dude, I broke up with my girlfriend in 7th grade and I cried to that song, man. You're like that's for real. Like, that happens in my community of subscribers and followers, A lot of tears were shed to this song. And now there's a short film being produced and made. They had asked for my blessing to use this song in whatever way they wanted to, because they were inspired so much about it. And of course I said yes. Also, I don't read all of my DMs. Not like on purpose or anything, because I miss so many. And people come up to me like, hey, you didn't respond to my DM. Like, shut up, dude. Like, bro, I have hundreds, please. But Alyssa, my wife, woke me up one morning and said, babe, you got to see this. And she showed me your video, Marissa. So, and then I looked in my own DMs, and I was searching for it, and I found it, and then I responded to you. But I'd like to play that video so we can kind of get a glimpse of it, and then I'm going to bring Marissa up, and let's see it.
Have you ever loved someone knowing you'd have to let them go? Hi everyone, I'm Marissa Rojas, the writer-director of You and Me Will Always Be Back Then. This film is inspired by the ending of my last relationship. It is told through the lens of both my Filipino-American and queer identities, but above all else, it is a love story. You and Me Will Always Be Back Then is set to AJ Rafael's legendary song When We Say (Juicebox), just reimagined from a queer woman's perspective. And if you're wondering, yes, we do have AJ's full blessing and support to make this film.
Marissa, cast and crew of You and Me Will Always Be Back Then. I just wanted to give you my full blessing.
Yeah, I know. We still can't believe it either. But anyway, let's get back to the story. This film follows two Filipinas to various moments in their intimate relationship. There's Sam, an aspiring film director and veteran queer who knows what she wants. For her, Maya is the one. Then there's Maya, who's at many crossroads in her life, navigating her Saturn return. She's happily partnered to Sam, but also deeply closeted. This story explores love, loss, and letting go, and provides a compassionate view of reality people in the LGBTQ community continue to face. What do you do when you're out, but your partner isn't? Or vice versa? Please know that every dollar you donate will go into helping this film reach its full potential. And that all starts with taking care of the people behind it, and securing the equipment and resources we need to tell the story. Other than simply bringing this film to life, my main priorities are to pay my beautiful cast and crew for their time and talent, and to give back to the communities that have already given me so much. We hope to submit this film to festivals that amplify Filipino, AAPI, and queer voices and stories. And eventually, if everyone at Wong Fu Productions is on board, I feel it's only right that this film lives on forever on their YouTube channel. We all know how powerful and important representation is. That's why I continue to make films, and that is why I'm telling this story. This film is for all the queer loves that have lived in the shadows or never had a chance to even begin. Making this film is my way of honoring those stories by bringing them to light. So thank you for helping me, my cast and crew, do just that. We know just how special and important this story is, so we are grateful for all your pledges and support in bringing this film to life.
A little bit. I mean, I know there was a lot said on the video, but anything you want to say in person? And let me give you a hug, because thank you for coming all the way out.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm
Hello,
Marissa.
hello.
I know this side of the room, so I'm Marissa Rojas, the girl that you saw in the video. Yeah, I'm also here with like 15 other people, cast and crew of my film. You and Me Will Always Be Back Then. Yeah, I mean, AJ kind of already said, like, I just made a very similar video, and I sent it to both him and Alyssa, because I'm like, double the chances of them seeing it. And they did.
Smart,
Um,
smart.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're actually about like a month out from principal photography. We've been rehearsing. Mostly, I've been teaching my leads Filipino martial arts and all that. We're in the middle of crowdfunding, which is new for me. I've never done it before. And if any of you have done it, we know it's exhaustingly stressful, but I do it because I believe in my team and I believe in, I'm nervous. In the story that we are telling. Yes. Sorry, I'm nervous.
No,
Yeah, this is
amazing.
super surreal.
Yeah, this is cool.
This is super surreal for
This
me.
is
I
really
mean, of course, like many of us millennial Gen Zers, I mean, I remember downloading AJ's music off of iTunes onto my 32 gigabyte video iPod with the headphones with wires, if you remember those.
Oh.
So, you know, and he's right here. That's high school Marissa's like,
Is this our first time meeting in person, by the way?
I met you very briefly at Unfo.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like 2022.
Okay.
It's really brief. So,
Did you already have this script in mind?
funny enough, I had already conceived the idea, but it wasn't like, she wasn't developed enough for me to, like, also you were at an event. I wasn't about to, like, pitch it to you right there. That's a little much. That's a
There
little
are
much.
weirder things that have
That's
happened.
true. That's true.
Wait, so you said it was about the end of your relationship.
Yeah.
So that you were broken up.
Yeah,
at
so
that time?
that relationship had ended like summer of 2022,
Got
and
it.
then I met you and Alyssa in December, that December 2022
Yeah.
at the event.
Yeah, breakups really inspire a lot of art, y'all. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, hello, Taylor Swift. Like,
Mhm.
you can't hate on her. She's like really coming from real experiences. Thank you for sharing this video and your I don't know what it was that like attracted me to wanting to be a part of this. It was just like it was mostly you and just your spirit. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know, take a chance on things, you know, and someone pitches you something or whatever. Like, if it feels right, then it probably is. You know, not everything is just like out to get your money or just like for clout and things like that. So yeah, this is a testament to that because you're literally right here doing this. How long is the campaign going for?
Yes, so we have until March 21st, and that's when the campaign closes. And if you're familiar with Seed and Spark, we do have to hit 80% of like our overall goal to get funded. So if you want to pledge,
Where
you
we
want to
at right now?
spread, we are about 40%, so we're halfway there.
Okay,
With about 12 days left.
awesome. Okay,
We can do it.
we can do it.
We're gonna do it.
Y'all are gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I'm not just here to talk about that. I'm here because, like, I mean, even just this conversation right now, like the parallels talking about like the inception of when We Own the Eighth, and of course, like you progressing in your career, like we're doing very similar things down in San Diego, where we're just
Heck
all aspiring artists in our own
Yes.
respect, and it's just kind of like we gotta just support each other, and it's just like whether we're making it for ourselves or it's gonna go on YouTube or we're putting on an event, like we just gotta keep doing it. And I think what's very eye-opening for me, as I mean, I'm 10 years into my own career as a filmmaker, and I feel ready enough to make something as ambitious as this. I mean, I'm using the AJ Rafael song, and by the way, to clarify that, so it basically is a narrative music video. We have our composer here. She's gonna help arrange the music. We also have an Filipino-American artist who goes by the stage name Sayang, but their name is Rajani. She actually was the cinematographer for a little short film called When You Left Me on That Boulevard, won Sundance last year, no big deal. But they are also a musician, beautiful voice, so she's gonna sing AJ's song.
Love it.
We're working on that right now. So you'll hear it soon. But yeah, and then there's 2 scenes without music and all that, but based off my life, just for that clarity. I don't know what I was gonna say, but basically just like very ambitious, because I actually am more of a cinematographer, I'm not so much a director, and directing is a lot of work because you have to make all the decisions
Well,
about
you're doing it
everything,
already,
but
you're a
again,
director.
you know, we can wear many hats
Yes.
as, you know,
as we can.
as independent artists do. And I think the point I was getting to is like, you know, I've talked to AJ in our, like we literally talked the same day I sent him my pitch video, and he's like, are you free for a call at noon? I was like, yes, AJ Rafael, of course I have noon. And like,
Stupid.
and all my coworkers are Filipino, so I told them what was going on. They're like, can you use the office? Get ready. And I was like, yeah.
They made it all look
Yeah,
nice.
they're
That's
like,
hilarious.
They're like, it's fine. Just who cares about work? Yeah, it was like the SpongeBob meme where like they threw out his name. We were that in the office. We're like, AJ Rafael. Sorry.
You can just call me AJ now,
It's okay.
by the way.
AJ. Okay. I mean, one more moment. But like when I was pitching this film to everyone, and like people who I don't know as well, I was like, so like, you know AJ Rafael, and they're like, Marissa, I'm Filipino. I know AJ Rafael. So I'm like, okay, but AJ.
Yes. Thanks, Marissa.
AJ. What I was getting at is that I've also like been able to, you know, meet Dante Bosco and like the whole Bosco family, and to hear them talk about it. They've been in the industry for a long time. It's like the same sentiment is like there's no real difference between someone who is just picked up a camera or started music or anything like that. It's just experience. But we're all still trying to do the same things, make our art, get the art funded, and all of that. And it's just like the only way to keep making it sustainable is that if we help each other and support each other in any way that we can, and keep doing it until one day it's not like, ooh, this Asian American film, or ooh, this LGBTQ film. It's like it's just a film.
Yeah.
it's just a musical, whatever it is. Like that's the goal. I think that's what we all want, and that's why we're here. I mean, that's why I also talk about my film as a love story and not like this is a queer film. It is, it is, but it's a love story. And my whole cast is Filipino American. Majority of my crew is Filipino American. Only our first AC is a white guy, but he's honorary Filipino because
Eats lumpia.
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
that's what he does.
I grew up with a lot of Filipinos, you know.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of alignment, and again, going back to just like parallels between you and like early YouTube, early, Wong Fu, and even you just like meeting Dante, who, is your hero, and this is my hero. Parallels. It's incredible, and I just feel very blessed and grateful to be here and to make the art. It's a lot of work, but we're gonna do it, and I'm happy to be here and meet you all here too.
Yes.
Yes.
LA, San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're ever in San
Crossover.
Diego, we're here.
Hit them up.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Y'all, give it up for Marissa. Stay up here, though.
Okay.
I think
Yes.
we're gonna do.
Q&A. Yeah. Thank you, Marissa,
Thank
for
you.
sharing and for coming all the way from San Diego, all of y'all. We have time for Q&A from the audience.
It
Yeah.
could be to Marissa as well.
Yeah,
So we'll just leave you up here just in case.
of course.
Or I'm just up here just in case, But yes, totally open to anything if anyone wants to ask a question or two.
Don't be shy.
Come on. Yeah. Mike for the live stream. Shout out to everyone watching live stream and in the future watching live stream.
I'm curious about your interest in Broadway. You said you had a sister in it, and you want to pursue it as well. How do you go about that?
How do I go about that? Well, luckily, I signed with a really good management a couple years ago, who originally signed me for film and TV stuff, but I kept telling him, I was like, I want to be on Broadway. Like that's something, not just a bucket list thing, like something that I would really passionately love to do. So I think that, of course, in the beginning, in going on Actors Access and only looking for musicals and things like that, he's helped me get some really cool auditions. But that's like the agent management route. Before that is having experience in theater, which is, not joining, but auditioning, obviously, for local productions here, East-West Players, right, Asian American Theater. I did productions out in Riverside at a company called Performance Riverside, and just auditioned for their stuff. So I guess me also having theater credits probably have helped me even have my name to be approved to like go in for casting, right? So I guess that's how I went about it. But also it's something that I am very actively like working on with a vocal coach. If I have some sides that I don't really relate to, I will ask some of my acting friends. Like I've had Carlin James read with me and stuff. My friend Tess Paras coached me on my Wicked audition because I had an audition for Bach for the musical for Broadway, and then I had an audition for the John Chu movie for Bach, which was amazing. And I actually got to final callbacks on that in director's session with John Chu. So I could have been with Ariana Grande, guys. Thank God that I'm still married. Yeah, it was for that character. Anyway, after that director session with John Chu, like being in for a movie for Wicked, then you could bring that, like your manager or even yourself as leverage, like, hey, he went in for the movie, like, let's try to get him on Broadway. And I'm still in, like, I'm sure you guys have those shows where you're, like, endlessly going in for, it's like that with me and with Hamilton too. It's like I've been in for it so many times. I freaking memorized that packet. Now I'm going in for different characters because like they didn't see me as that character. Like y'all have that. It gets a little tiring, but you just gotta persevere because Broadway, I feel, is even more incestuous. Like they use the same freaking people. You know what I mean? I'm so lucky that my sister is not just lucky. She's very talented, obviously, and she works very hard. But they're looking for new blood on Broadway. Like she comes from the hip hop dancing world, so she's danced for Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj and stuff. And they really loved her LA feel to the choreography when she went in for a Broadway show. So I would say use this time for, and I hate to say that people are looking for like diversity hires or whatever, but like take advantage of that, because if people are looking for Asian Americans or someone who is like different from the norm, which really just means not vanilla, you know what I'm saying? Like take advantage of that and go into these rooms. Even for, I also just booked, I'm gonna be John in Tick Tick Boom, Jonathan Larson. Yes, for a theater out in San Diego called Signet. This is a big role. I've never had this much material to memorize for. It's an hour 30 straight, no intermission. I'm off stage for only 2 songs. We start rehearsals in June. Anyway, I bring that up because Jonathan Larson is a white man, and it's an autobiographical musical. And I never saw myself as John, so I never even submitted. And a casting director who is my friend, he happens to be Filipino, he was like, AJ, would you be interested in going out for John? I think you're my secret weapon. I want to bring you to casting. So he was like, can you just tape for this or whatever? And they had been looking since December. So in like 3 weeks ago, I actually, they got on a Zoom with me and they're like, you're perfect. Which is crazy. I'm like, what? I'm an Asian dude. I mean, I play piano and sing, and they're like, that's what John is. He plays piano and he sings. Like, we relate more to humans than we even think we do. So, anyway, that's my long-winded theater answer. So, yeah, thank you. Oh, Mike for the live stream.
Hi. We will see you at Signet Theater.
Yeah.
all
Oh my
of
God.
us
I'll at least
together.
have 15 people there.
Yes.
Sweet.
There's people here. I also want to say, as also like a multi-hyphenate who's just trying to figure out how to do all this
It's a good
different
word.
stuff.
Yeah.
From like my own career to like community organizing and all that. Like, thank you for speaking about it, because honestly, like that makes me feel better and that it's possible, and that there's more people doing it. So my question kind of surrounds that, or at least the community aspect with putting all these different community events. What, I guess like I'm kind of looking for tips, or like I would love to hear like what you found to be more helpful, the most helpful in these kind of events and spaces in terms of like really connecting people or inspiring people, or just like having such like, what makes people get past that whole like LA-esque-ness?
Ooh.
And how do we get more people in our communities to really see that like, hey, these like entertainment is like a real possibility
Sure.
for all of us. And like you said, like, and we talk about this a lot in San Diego, how we're like, dude, we can't play our own parents. So like, especially for like older like API actors and stuff like that, this is like a great time for you to appear out of nowhere. But also part of that is like, well, how do you even get that generation to even be like, hey, you can do this?
I love that question, because I actually, even with my show Crazy Talented Asians, I think it comes from the story / passions / what drives the person running the event, honestly. Because I think that a big reason too why people even started going to We on the 8th is because they love Dante Bosco, right? Like it starts with something like that. And then when Dante's able to share his story, and then when I'm able to share my story, like in my Crazy Talented Asian show, the end is like a big musical number, but before that, I always have this like vulnerable moment, and not just to put it on, because y'all obviously know from tonight, like I'm a very like hard on my sleeve guy. I just like I love to speak from the heart, you know? And you'll find these different events and different networking events. You may not connect with some of them, even if like it checks all the boxes of what you are and what you're supposed to be like. There's a ton of like musician circles and stuff, and if you're connecting with, and maybe not just the organizer, but with somebody there, and it gives you more reason to keep coming. So I guess all that to say is that if you were even to start some kind of group or whatever, I think it starts with, and because I don't know the rest of you, it starts with someone like Marissa, who is like vulnerable to enough and courageous enough to share their story and be like, this is why I do what I do. Like no one knew, y'all LA people didn't know who Marissa was, but then you see this video, they're looking in the camera like, this is why I'm sharing this story. This is why I believe it's important, and you connect with that. That is where the community comes from, and that's probably why she's able to even gather y'all to be a part of, you know, the film. So I think approach community events that same way. I've been also friends on Facebook with a lot of these people, even when we don't see each other. If they're doing something, because I know their heart and I know their passion for it, and it's not just like, oh, I need somebody for this, and like I know they're not gonna screw somebody over. I know that they're gonna be really great at what they do. That's the reason why I might go to their event. You know what I mean? So I think it starts from the humanity of it, and it's not just a blank like, this is a musician networking event, come. You know? So, I don't know. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I really liked your eggs in the basket quote, and while you were listing a bunch of different things, I thought I heard scoring, like film scoring. Have you done that before?
Yes, but in a fake way. Because I did go to music school. I went to Berklee College of Music, but my strength is not transcription. I can sight read, like I've played for theater auditions, which is fucking scary, because people trust you to not mess up their audition. So I'm like proficient enough at reading, but I'm not good at transcribing. So if I were to do a film score, which I have for Fabulous Filipino Brothers, which is Dante Bosco's directorial film, debut, I had to do it all by myself because I'm not writing out charts to give to musicians to do it. So all the music that you hear in that, the scored stuff, which is not the soundtrack songs, is just, you know, me on Logic playing everything or whatever.
That's me too.
Oh, sweet, yay. So we're not fake. One cool thing, though, I did with Fabulous Filipino Brothers is because it was already pretty much picture locked, I like improvised to scenes and see if it worked. And then I would send it to Dante, and he'd be like, that's really cool. Can you try to get a little more aggressive when she starts talking about this? Then I would just do it again, and then I'd add layers and stuff. So that's my experience of film scoring. I did the same thing with Yappy for Wong Fu as well. It's just like watching it and playing along to it, which is something I would do for fun, you know, back in the day, but then actually putting it to a picture. I'm glad to have the opportunity to do that, but it is stressful, you know, and it's a lot of work, and especially you're getting notes from the director, and then there's so many back and forth things. I feel like I have the skill to do it on a scale like that, but I don't know that I would choose it to be my career. So, you know, props to you for doing it, because it's not an easy job.
I do it just like you. I also improvise.
I love it. Yes, it's just like speaking from the heart. You're like playing from the heart, you know. So, yeah.
And Jessica's amazing.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear the score.
What's up, AJ?
Oh, what up, Ron?
Hey. Just so you guys know, me and AJ go way back. I think maybe 2005.
Yeah, Riverside.
When we were
days.
10 years old. Now, but
Stupid.
because
You're older than me,
we're
bro.
so young. We're so young. No, but I was wondering, dude. When you get burnt out, like when you got burnt out from doing two YouTube videos a week, how did you find the motivation to like come back to it? Because me as not so much as an actor, but as a children's musician, like I reached a point last year where I was so burnt out from putting out music videos and vlogs and everything like once, twice a week, and I had to take a mental health break from it because it was like so much. So I was just wondering for you, like, what was it, taking a break from it? Was it dipping your toes in other areas to find the motivation like later on? Like what's like your story?
Yeah, it was exactly that. I think I touched a little bit on it, but I would encourage you, Ron, and you also do so many things that if you find, again, a passion and an excitement about something else that's totally different, like even when I was first trying to write songs, I was playing the piano because I know it so well. Like I can play without looking at the keys, right? As soon as I picked up guitar and something I'm not used to at all, and just like playing these chords that I'm unfamiliar, even if a G is a G, but a G on the guitar it opened up my imagination to a whole different world. You know what I mean? So it's like pick up the guitar. If you're doing all the children's musician content, it's almost like pick up a guitar and try to do something else. Pick up whatever the guitar is for you, where you're so used to doing this thing. Pick up another thing, and then that might inspire you to write songs that you can. Then I take back those songs to the piano, and I produce the song on the piano. You know what I mean? So, take that analogy how you will, but bro, you're so talented. Like, you can do so many things that will encourage the thing that you really want to grow. Yeah. I think one more, because time is up, right? Oh, shoot. It's a fight. No, you raise your hand first. Oh my God, there's so many mics. I love this venue. We never had that before.
You said when you started, you were trying to bring traditional filmmakers with internet people into the same room. Our current generation of tastemakers were born in 2009. And how has the world changed for the current generation of kids who are going to be in this new season of We Own the Eighth? Because before it was traditional filmmakers and internet people, but now it's influencers, and now it's like something different. How is it going to be different?
I guess the one thing that I didn't necessarily like from the traditional people's mindsets is that they were so, and not everybody of course, but from what I felt, I kept hearing YouTube's not for me, or I kept hearing like I don't do YouTube or all this stuff, because, and even you'll probably hear it from us millennials, is like, oh, we used to listen on iPods back in the day, like things like that. I think that mentality, it's fun, it's jokes, but at the end of the day, we're closing off the evolution of. I'm like, I have sometimes told people, I'm like, dude, if you rode that wave of something that you were so closed off on, you know what I mean? Like it would be a different path to you. Then we become like bitter because we ended up not being open to things like TikTok, right? Like, so when I reached 1 million on YouTube, 1 million subscribers, I was like, half of my mind is like, man, I've done it, I've made it, right? And then there's TikTok, which is actually like, so many people are on TikTok. They're making really amazing, high quality stuff on TikTok. Instead of me being like, no, I don't do TikTok because I conquered YouTube already, I ended up putting myself up on TikTok. I have over 800,000 followers on there because I found ways that I could express my art on there, and I rode that wave because I was not like, TikTok's for young people, so I think that we should do the same for all the new stuff that's coming up, and not just to the apps, but to those people. There are older people who don't fuck with the younger generation, you know what I mean? Because like they think they're in different mindset, but I would say collaborate with them. Like the same thing I'm doing. How old are you?
29.
Oh, okay. We're not that far apart.
I know.
But look,
Filipina.
that kind of next generation, I feel like, if you're closed off to it, I don't know, you won't grow, I think. So I would encourage us to keep trying to connect with that Gen Z, Gen A. And I'm not saying that you guys are not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it would be really cool if we were able to open it up to everyone. And I think something you said earlier, you were like, hey, it doesn't matter if you're picking up the camera for the first time. Like, who's the director of Past Lives? Celine
Song.
Celine Song. It's her first movie. But she's lived just as much life as somebody else her age or maybe even more, it doesn't matter. But it's like what you said about the experience thing, I think we can take that into how we approach interacting and collaborating with this next generation. So anyway, that answer will keep growing as we keep coming back to We on the 8th and seeing more and more young people, and not just young people, but people who are coming from different industries, and like an old lawyer who's tired of his job coming into the acting world and stuff. I think we should welcome them with open arms.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you, AJ. We are so thankful you are here, during this crazy week of yours.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing everything, your heart. You are really, truly someone who wears your heart on their sleeve. And we just want to take this time also to honor you and celebrate you, because I know you're a fellow Pisces, and I know your birthday's in a few days.
Yeah. That's right.
And
March 12th.
Even though I've been taking singing lessons recently, I can't say I'm the best singer, but so I'm gonna need all of your guys' help here. We might have a
Are you guys gonna sing to me?
We're gonna sing to AJ Rafael.
I love it.
We're gonna,
I love it.
We're gonna serenade to the crooner. Yes, and
it's always awkward for the receiver. He's just gone.
wait, where are you going, Marissa?
You were supposed to sing.
All
right.
Okay. I was like,
You know what? I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3.
Oh wait,
we're not. Sorry. I'm ruining. Am I ruining something?
No, we're waiting. We're waiting for something.
Okay.
Yes, but.
Oh my God!
Here we go. Here we go.
What?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear AJ. Happy birthday to you.
I wished for my mom's recovery, so for those of y'all who pray, or if you don't, please send good thoughts and energy to my mom, who's currently in the hospital right now, and hopefully she gets out soon. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for singing that song.
Yeah, thank you. It's awesome for you to be here, and I know I've been very encouraged. I think a lot of others here have been encouraged as well. It's awesome to hear the news about Tick Tick Boom, and I think I might make a trip down to San Diego to see that.
Come to San Diego. Yes.
And also you have the Red Roses prom coming up June 15th.
That's right. Yeah, let me promote a little bit. I'm going on my East Coast tour in April. We're starting off in Chicago, then Toronto, Boston, New York, DC, and Virginia Beach. So if y'all happen to be out there or have friends, please lead them. I was saying how my tour was sold out that first leg in West Coast. I'm not so spoiled this time. We're marketing a little bit, which is amazing. As an artist, we got to do that. So we still have a lot of tickets left, and we would love your help to help promote. But then I'm throwing another hometown-ish show in Anaheim at Anaheim House of Blues, which will be the biggest size room. It's 1,900 seats. It's standing room. But I would love for y'all to come make it out. It's June 15th, Anaheim House of Blues. We're calling it Red Roses Prom because it's the 13th anniversary of my album Red Roses. And we call it a prom because we want people to also dance and stuff. We have DJ Nico Blitz. I'm going to play my full Red Roses album, and then after we're going to have a bunch of special guests just singing like songs, like live dance music, essentially. So Alyssa's going to come in a prom dress. Like, y'all can dress up, have some fun. So I'll be posting that on my Instagram. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, AJ Rafael. I post on TikTok now a lot as well. So yeah, can we give it up for Grace, who moderated so beautifully, and then to YJ, thanks for bringing this back, and everybody who's working on this We Own the 8th revival, and also Emerson College for having us. Very cool. Yeah.
Thank you, AJ.
Cool.
Way to
Thanks.
wrap it up.
Absolutely. Is that it? Are we
Yeah,
done?
Yeah, I think
Awesome.
so. I mean,
And
there's,
you know
there's
the-
cake, there's drinks.
There's cake. There's cake. There's drinks. And again, like I said, I felt like the magic of We on the 8th was afterwards. So hopefully I see this San Diego group mingling with everybody here in LA. And thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you. And if anyone has an ask, I know we're trying to incorporate that, like something you want to ask the community
Ooh, yeah,
for.
love it.
If anyone wants to come up and make an ask, something you're looking for, if you need like, you know, a certain type of crew member on a project. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, there is a specific ask. That's amazing. Yeah. Headshot photographer, Tuesday, San Jose. Really? Okay.
Do we have anyone else who yes?
Yay. This is fun.
Yeah, so for Music of Eyewear, which we showed the sizzle reel last month, we're looking for somebody to help with social media and marketing and all that good stuff, getting the word out. And we're about to launch an Indiegogo, so also like promotions with that. I feel like you would know. So yeah, thanks. And anybody online too, just hit me up on at Chart Optical or at May Huen on Instagram. So MAYHWEN or at Chart Optical. Thanks.
Amazing.
Any other asks in the house?
Is this on? Oh, this is on. Hello. Yo, AJ, I just want to say congrats.
Oh, what's up, man?
On your, I just want to say congrats on your role for Jonathan Larson on
thank
Tick
you.
Tick Boom. Me personally, that's like one of my top like
Love it.
musicals. I love it. So I'm excited to see you play it. Congrats. I'm
you.
kind of curious. Just a fun question. What's your song that you're very excited to perform up there? Like, or
Oh, we got a different kind of ask. Favorite what? Favorite song?
Yeah, like favorite song or something you're looking forward to, like on the show, like you know.
Oh, in the show?
Yeah.
I think the opening. The opening is very powerful. 3090, and it's actually him on his birthday, which
Yeah.
is funny because it's my birthday in a couple days. So, cool.
Congrats.
Awesome. Any other asks from the community for the community? Yes. Or gifts or cash. Venmo, YJ.
Five in here. No, but hi, I'm Alex. With the San Diego group for a big film community down south. You know, we have a space actually down in like the Mission Valley area. If anybody's familiar with that, down in there. So we basically just started it up. So any collaborators would be awesome because we just want to make stuff happen. Basically, like it's a space for all of us to use. It's still very big and built up. But if anybody's in San Diego just wants to like make stuff happen, like totally come down.
Film a
check us
scene
out.
or two.
Film scenes. You can do headshots in there. You can do whatever. Basically, it's a free open space right now. So it's the company that we have. Well, I'm the one that has it technically, but like everybody helps, you know, as a part of it in some way. It's called Project Conclusion. Again, just to make stuff happen. Like we just want to make things basically. And so if there's anybody who really doesn't want to be a part of it, like you can find our Instagram. It's pcc.studio3. It's the third space technically that we try to put together. So it's Studio 3.
Cool.
But honestly, if anybody wants to like just make anything, do music. We've done recordings in there already. We've done photos already. We've done rehearsals for the film there already. We've done all kinds of stuff there. So like again, if you want to help out or if you want to just make something with us, like totally just come down and like check us out.
And what was your name again?
Alex.
Cool. Hit up Alex. I'll be there in July, I guess.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, AJ. Hi, guys. I'm Kenzo Lee. I'm one of the acting coaches for East West Players and NBC Universal's diversity program. I have an interesting act that's just come up recently. I am looking to put my teaching series for introduction to auditioning on YouTube and to make it a full series of videos. So I might be hitting you up about a space.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about trying to develop a crew that would be from We Own the 8th to put that together. So this is just the developmental phases. So if anyone's interested in working with me on that, we might potentially be able to create an entire production team out of this over the next few months.
Literally out of these people here.
Yeah, out of these people here. Anyone who comes in.
Cool.
I would love to have it. Yeah.
You got a mic already.
Got a mic. Hi guys, I'm Knock. I'm an actor. I also produce and recently got into casting. I have two projects. One is a project that I'm about to cast for AFI. We're looking for a lot of people, over 10 characters and a lot of background. So if you're interested in acting, let me know. And I'm also producing a short film in the Bay Area. We're filming late May, and we're looking for some crew members, especially an art director and production designer. So if you are in that department and interested, also let me know. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Nok.
Lance?
Okay, so I don't know if this has any connects through this room, but I had a filmmaker reach out to me from Seattle. Hopefully anyone online can help. Who's looking for a Vietnamese location sound mixer for a film that they're shooting in Seattle. So if anyone knows anyone in Seattle or knows the language, at least someone reached out to me, so I want to reach out to them for the community.
Any other asks?
Bay Area. Bay Area, all surrounding cities.
I'm just gonna walk up to the front. Hello again. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
So yeah, I just want to say congrats again for Marissa for getting this film. As of right now, I am working on a film. I'm just BTS for the film, but my friends are doing a thesis student film called Dissonance. So just search me up on Instagram. I'll put the link in my bio. If you guys can donate, that would help out so much. But yeah, I just got back from filming this morning and I drove here. So yeah, if you guys can.
What's your name
donate.
again?
I'm Jasper.
Jasper.
Yeah.
That's so Filipino, dude.
Thank you.
Cool. Hit up Jasper.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then I'm also a filmmaker myself too. So I would love to see you guys again. An actor. Yeah. Oh my God, it's scary up here. Okay, I'm out.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I think that, you know what? I might have an ask.
Yes.
I'm actually really bad at asking for help. So this
Break
is good.
that right
this
now.
Is good.
Yeah.
This is good. I freelance as a video editor, and every now and then I get hit with a lot of work, and I think I'm in a space where I might need to work with an assistant editor.
It's time.
So
It's time.
I need some help because sometimes it's not okay pulling these all-nighters.
It's
you know?
not.
I've been doing my own assistant editing work basically, but if you know anybody who's familiar with Adobe Premiere, it would be stuff like pulling footage. Okay. Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'm working on a really cool thing right now. I don't know how much I could talk about it, but it's a cool project, and I might need some help. So, thank you. All right.
Cool.
Oh, oh yeah? Okay. Wow, this is the magic of We Own the 8th,
That's
huh?
what it is. It is. We can go home now.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hang out. We've got.
All right, everyone.
beverages.
Thank you all for coming. AJ, thank you so much. Round of applause. I want to introduce or announce next month's guest.